Well, hello. Here I am making some videos again, going for another walk. I'll be honest, I haven't been feeling particularly well recently. Today's the 9th of October. And yeah, because I drink too much and smoke too much and do very little exercise, I feel my body's been kind of falling apart, and I can really feel it. I think it affects you more the older you get. So this is the 9th of October. As you can see, I'm in shirt sleeve, in shorts and t-shirt in Italy in October, and it's fantastic. So the plan today is to have a little wander around Lerici and start walking towards Tellaro. It's a beautiful area around here. It has recently been raining, so a little bit damp, so I'll be a little bit careful in terms of which paths to take and how to do it, because once it gets wet, especially in less sunny areas, you tend to get this slimy mold grow on rocks and paths, and makes it very difficult and potentially very slippy and dangerous. So a little bit different walking here in Italy. Some real variation of paths, from pretty simple to some pretty tricky ones. But the plan is to start easy. I know my body, and I know that I'm extremely unfit, and don't want to push things too much too soon. So build things up a little bit at a time. Wow, I didn't get very far. I stopped at the bar for a coffee and something to eat, and I owed them a few pounds for, well, a few euros even, for a beer I hadn't paid the other night, so I had to pass by. And now I'm going to try and make my way towards Tellaro, see how far I get, and hopefully take some decent videos. Done a bit of uphill and I'm already a bit knackered, to be fair. Legs was feeling it. Only had one walk 2 days ago. So good to get the heart moving. I've had plenty of people say to me, well, walking doesn't make you fit. Well, it depends how you do it, isn't it? I walk with 5 to 10 kilos on my back, and it's pretty mountainous around here. To tell you, if you put a heavy pack on your back and walk up hills, it'll get your heart going, and it's pretty good for your leg muscles too. Okay, not fantastic for upper body strength unless you're doing perhaps ferrate or climbing, but still very good and great views, great for filming, and I hope you enjoy these videos. Having left Lerici, now I'm walking on the path that actually goes all the way to Bocca di Magra. We're on the path to Tellaro, which is actually relatively parallel to the road. I contemplated doing it on the road because I thought I'd get some better pictures, but equally, if I'm doing some audio, being on the road is pretty noisy and not great for filming videos with some audio. So I decided to do this path. Oddly enough, even though I come from here and walked a huge amount in my life, I've never actually done this path. I did come back drunk from Tellaro once, but I walked along the road. So this is new for me. Of course, I am biased because I come from this area, but it is a beautiful area and we get a huge amount of tourists each year. It seems to increase every year. The Cinque Terre are quite close to here. They become world famous, and also La Spezia is a place where cruise ships come in regularly. But apart from that, it's pretty much dominated by holiday homes. So a lot of Italians and foreigners have holiday homes in this area, and it's a wonderful area for walking, for swimming, in that most of Liguria doesn't really have good beaches, but Lerici and San Terenzo have some great beaches, and they are absolutely rammed in the summer. Just done a bit more uphill, as you can tell, and my unfitness is showing through dramatically. Obviously not in a situation where I can successfully do do audio walking uphill, just gathering my breath back again. So yeah, people might say, why are you walking with weight on your back? Silly, beautiful weather. Why walk with weight on your back? Well, actually putting together 5-7 kilos on your back is not that difficult. For a start, there's the weight of the rucksack. Secondly, I carry some water, obviously. So about 1 litre of water I normally carry. If I'm doing a trip where I know I'm going to be away from water for longer, I might carry more water, or indeed if I'm going camping. In terms of the maximum weight I've walked with, something like 13-15 kilos when I'm going out camping and staying there for some time. Yeah, so it doesn't take long to build up 5-7 kilos, and I like it. I suppose I was used to walking with weight all my life. It takes me back to my cadet days, school days, having done walks with the army, but I also did 10 tours twice in England, which was carrying quite a bit of weight. And to be honest, it kind of helps me. I find that if you're used to it, it kind of gives you balance. Obviously carrying excess weight is not worth it, and obviously everything you put in your rucksack and take has to be accounted for and thought about. No point carrying weight for no reason. But there is partly a reason of also trying to get fit again. I only have a limited amount of time in a day or a week to walk, and weight does make a huge difference. So I'm struggling even to walk this. Well, struggling, I'm managing. And they have a young couple, they look German or Scandinavian, just run past me, having gone down to the end, and then they just ran past me again. So they're running the same track that I'm walking, which makes me feel particularly unfit. But at least I know that today I'm making the effort, and it's a small step back on the journey to get fit. Not too worried about getting a perfect body like when I was 18. I can't imagine that will happen again, but at least get fit so I feel better about myself. In this country, the Kai run the paths, and you can see how wonderfully organized these paths are with all these stones, but obviously at some point these stones fall apart, and this is when people come along and patch it up. It's amazing. It's a charity that does this, and it's quite unbelievable the number of paths, and also have the seasons. So we have storms, trees fall across the paths, huge amount of water comes down these paths, and they become rivers when there's a lot of rain, and maintaining them is quite an amazing job. But it is all part of the tourist industry, and one of the best things that's ever been created in Italy, the Club Alpino Italiano. There is another reason, of course, to carry weight, or a little bit of weight. It's also for safety. Only one time in my life have I needed help. That was actually a few years ago. Luckily I was prepared. I got lost in the woods. Well, I say lost, I wasn't actually lost. I knew exactly where I was, and I knew where I wanted to go, and I could see where I wanted to go. But I'd lost the path, and it was all full of brambles, and it was very steep, It had been raining a lot, and all the earth was falling away trying to climb back up. And I just lost all my strength, and it got to the point of, well, I have got the safety equipment to actually stay out for the night. I didn't want people to worry, so I called for help, but I was glad still I had all the kit necessary to stay out if I needed to. After hours of fighting to try and find a way out, I was exhausted. Now, the best safety equipment that you've got, of course, is your mobile phone, but if you're out walking in some of these woods, the phone doesn't always get reception, so good to have other safety equipment with you as well, like a survival bag, like a sleeping bag. And really, especially in Italy, it's a really bad idea to leave the path. And I was thinking like I was Bear Grylls, but of course I'm not. I don't have anything like the same physique, and also not the same support. I was out walking on my own, and I called for help, and eventually the fire brigade come and get me, and I was only a few yards from the road. It was slightly embarrassing, but it was one of those moments where you have to kind of make a decision. I'd already exhausted quite a bit of my battery on my mobile phone trying to see through the dark. I did have another safety torch with me, kind of a wind-up little one, which was good, and I had another head torch as well. So I had 3 torches, but after trying to scramble through for hours in the woods in the dark, I was exhausted. I knew that I didn't have much energy left. I had a tiny little bit of food, still had a little bit of water, and I was close to a stream. It was all extremely damp and uncomfortable to spend the night there, but I could have done and then found my way out in the morning. But I know that everybody would have been really worried for me, and once in my life I actually end up calling for help. That particular event of calling for help was on the other side of the Gulf, near a place called Biassa, strangely enough. And I'd taken it upon myself about 3 years ago now to walk around all the Gulf. It's about 60 kilometers with a lot of up and down, all the way along the top, or most of the way along the top of the hills around the back of La Spezia, starting from Bocca di Magra all the way up back La Spezia and ending up in Porto Venere. I ended up doing a lot of it twice because I was doing it on my own, so I had to park the car, walk a bit, walk back and get the car, and then do another bit. But an amazing walk. So many fantastic walks and long treks here in Italy that are all signposted and very well marked. I must say, initially I was a little worried about the battery on this new GoPro. I was wondering whether it won't last very long, but of course in perfect fashion we managed to destroy the battery on the first night after buying it. I was keen to try it out even though it only had a little bit of battery. Of course Mum didn't realise I'd turned it off because it was down to sort of 3%, and as I was going to get the car she filmed me until the battery ran completely out, which was on the first night, which I thought had really affected it and destroyed it. And after that the battery seemed pretty weak, but after charging for a couple of days, well, a couple of times, it seems to have come back, and today is doing pretty well. We've done quite a few videos so far, and I've still got plenty of battery, so you know, overall pretty happy. I still haven't even looked at any videos on how to do better filming, but some films seem to be coming out all right. Now by road from Lerici to Tellaro is about 4 kilometers, but I'm not doing it by road. I'm doing the paths parallel but further up. Now, I've looked at the map, and I do always carry a map with me, and I'm hoping to come up to a junction soon to take me down to Tellaro. I hope I don't miss it, because this path goes all the way to Bocca di Magra, which will probably take me another 3 or 4 hours to walk it, and I can't really do it today because I've got other things to do. Mum needs some help with a few things, so I'm rather hoping that we actually get to the point where, where there's a path going down to Tellaro. Another reason for being prepared when walking is that the weather can change. Weather can change pretty quickly, and all right, not quite like the weather in England. Here in Italy, things are, well, let's say that the climate is far superior. But especially at high altitude, things can change, and even if rain isn't predicted, the weather can change quite rapidly at high altitudes, and the mountains here nearby, called the Apuane, go up to nearly 2,000 meters. The highest peak I've been up to, called Pagna della Croce, is 1,800 meters, and it is entirely different climate down there. Here we're at sea level. But even here, things can surprise you, especially if you're not walking in the summer season. So I've only been walking for about an hour so far. I feel like I've used up a bit of energy, and certainly my legs feel like they've done a bit of movement. I'm getting used to carrying weight a little bit on my back again. I haven't measured it, but I'm assuming I've got about 5 or 6 kilos worth of stuff in my backpack, and I'm happy that I've started walking again. To be fair, it was just so hot this summer. It was just unbelievably hot, and it was difficult. I think it was just difficult just to survive. I mean, we don't have double glazing and air conditioning, and it'd be impossible to do that. So just sleeping was difficult, and going walking seemed a bit too much. But it not being the right weather to do exercise is just a pathetic excuse, because obviously I could have gone to the beach and could have done some swimming. In the summer season, there's potential to play things like volleyball on the beach, which I love a lot. Although, to be fair, I've never really been that keen on swimming too much. I think it takes me back to when I was boarding school in England when I was young, and they make me swim in and do competitions against other schools in ice cold water, and I would be in and out as literally as fast as I physically could. There's all sorts of exercise that you can do if motivated. I suppose I come from a background of doing team sports, so doing things alone is a little bit depressing, but it's okay. No one irritates you. It's actually a beautiful walk, and I'm really enjoying it. I can't believe that I was born in Lerici and I've never done this path. My father was one of these people who walked a huge amount up until he was 82. He was walking 3 times a week, but he was always fixated, always going to the same places, and we used to go back and do the same walks again and again, which I find really boring. So I much prefer to do new walks and new experiences, see new views. And it's amazing, it's lovely. You know, Lerici is so busy, so much traffic and everything, but it's only taken a little while and I'm out in the woods and it's absolutely fantastic. It's quiet, I'm alone, and these paths, even in full season, are not as busy as you might assume. Well, I'm hoping this is the right junction. My map that I bought some time ago doesn't actually have these numbers of paths on it, so I need to check the map again. Luckily, a couple of friendly Germans happened to walk past when I was at that junction and advised me that it's not the right way to go down to Tellaro, so going to carry on the high path. And okay, don't quite get the views that perhaps you would on the road, but it's just so nice to be out in the woods. It's so nice to be away from people, so nice to be away from cars, and be in nature. I think that's something that relaxes me, and also healthy, especially for a smoker like myself. It's good to get out and get some fresh air, and it revitalizes me, and I just feel it's such a positive thing to be out and about, and I need to do it a lot more often, and maybe I'll show you. Also, when I'm fully prepared, which fortunately I'm not, I seem to have lost my little safety bag with things like knife, matches, sparks to start a fire, sparking tool to start a fire if needed, wind up torch, a little bit of string, spare laces, also talcum powder. Talcum powder is amazing if you end up getting your feet wet. And always have a spare pair of socks, even if you're all wet, as long as you can keep yourself relatively warm. If you've got a spare pair of socks and some talcum powder, make all the difference with regards to being able to carry on walking. If you walk with very damp feet, especially with weight on the back, it will destroy your feet pretty quickly. A lot of the walls have been demolished here, presumably by the weather. But another thing that can destroy things, oddly enough, is a thing called cinghiali, or wild boar. And they're not going to dig up stone, but they do dig up earth and can easily destroy land or dig it up. And these woods around here are absolutely full of wild boar. They tell me that they introduced some Hungarian strain of wild boar a few years ago into this territory for more meat and faster reproduction, but it seems to have taken over completely. Well, you know, when you're not that fit, when people older than you walk past you at pace and disappear out in front of you. Well, it's the same people who are running this path have just run past me again, and they said they're going to do it one more time. So in the space of time that I'm going to walk it once, that young couple will have run it 4 times, which makes me feel very unfit, but anyway, it's a stunning view here. and very much worth the effort. So nice to be away from cars and people. Lerici gets so busy in the summer. So I found the right path to go back down to Tellaro, which I'm really happy about. I'd actually been here before. This is a junction of paths. Path that I was on carries on going all the way to Bocca di Magra, which is probably about another 2.5 hour walk from here, depending on pace. This junction happens to be at obviously a historic place. This is actually an old abandoned little community of a few houses. It's quite amazing to be here. So coming towards the end for today. Okay, you might say, well, that's not a particularly long walk. I only walk about 1.5 hours. Yeah, that's better than doing nothing. And hope to then do another walk soon. Not quite finished yet. I'm going to go down to the road. Not going to make it to Tellaro today. I know it sounds a bit pathetic, but I've got other things to do. And I promised Mum I'd help her with some insurance claims, so I've got to get back and do that. So instead of walking back, I know it sounds a bit pathetic, I'm going to get Mum to come and get me. But look at the view that I've got here. You can see La Serra up on the hill, Fiascherino down below. And further down this path is Tellaro. Well, I'm quite impressed with this this battery. I'm sure I can upgrade, and I certainly can buy some extra batteries for longer filming trips. But it's pretty good. I've done a staggering amount of videos, and I've still got about 30% left. So I'm quite impressed, and having said that, I'm not sure I've got the settings right, and I've got very little experience of actually making videos, so smoker's cough. So I need to work all that out, and need to at least do some studying on how to improve the filming or the settings and what options there are, and also need to try and work out how to have audio, different types of audio at different bits of the film, which I haven't worked out yet. Maybe I can get a video editor that can help me with that. So walking down to Tellaro now, again, I'm ashamed to say that even though I was born here and spent a lot of my time here when I was younger, I hardly ever been to Tellaro. It's one of those things that if you're from Lerici, well, why do you need to go everywhere else? You have everything you need in Lerici, and it's pretty difficult parking. Pretty difficult parking in Tellaro, because it's the end of the road, and it's very difficult parking in general here in Liguria. I haven't been there that often, but it's absolutely stunning. It's meant to be one of the most beautiful villages in Italy. I certainly don't have the time or the battery today to go and film in Tellaro, but I will do have a walk around Tellaro and hopefully make a nice video for you to see. Looks like we're coming down to actually some road now. There's some nice villas here. I was just wondering how they managed to do all these villas looking so splendid without a road, and then of course the road appears just down below. Some places up in these hills don't have road access, and I've actually seen helicopters taking building materials when they're actually expanding doing work on a property out in the hills. But you can see some beautiful view here. In fact, they've got so much money, this lot, that have put a lift from the parking space a floor down up to the villas on top. I'm glad this gate suddenly closed in front of me. I didn't realise. I thought the path was going straight down there and I would have walked into someone's private property. So I'm really glad. I was too much concentrated on filming and looking where I was going, and I would have walked into someone's property and the gate then would have closed behind me, which would have been somewhat embarrassing, maybe. Anyway, still trying to get used to this GoPro extension. It doesn't seem to come quite square, but I'm getting used to it, and I'm feeling very proud of myself. Not only that I'm walking again, but I'm kind of testing myself by filming myself. So here I am. I managed to make it to Tellaro. The old part of Tellaro is down there. You can see one of the churches behind. Amazing little village and extremely touristy, like Lerici. But we're out of season now, so it's nice and quiet. There still are tourists. Obviously the prices are lower because they're not high season, so many not only come for the beach or the arts or the famous old buildings and towns that there are in Italy, but many people come for walking. And because it's so well organized by this Club Alpino Italiano, the CAI, which actually produces all of this, it's such an organized thing. You see, I did quite a bit of walking when I was younger in England, and you really do have to know how to map read. And here you don't really, you just follow the path. So in true athletic fashion, as is customary when walking, you've got to stop for a beer afterwards. So of course what I've done is find the closest bar, which is Bar Accone. Never been here before, but I'm sure they have beer. So that's my reward for this walk. I hope you've enjoyed it, and as I said, I will do another video about Tellaro. One thing I always carry is a spare t-shirt. This is absolutely vital, especially as we actually got quite a bit of a cold wind. It was fine whilst I was walking. Still in shorts, if you can see. Maybe extend this. Maybe you can see. No, cannot. Yeah. Always carry a spare t-shirt, very important. Sometimes two, if there was going to be two stops, because nothing worse than being stationary and having coldness on your skin. Easy to get cold very quickly, especially if there's a bit of a wind. So and there, now change so I can go and and also look better. So if you're going to go walk in a bar and get a beer, it's better to actually not be a sweaty mess. Well, instead of getting a beer, I didn't really fancy a beer. I feel like maybe too sweet. With traffic. Testing out my new tripod. So this is filming with tripod. I hope the image is good. So instead of a beer, I got a bottle of acqua frizzante, which I thought was a good start for rehydration. Although I did drink some of my water I've been carrying all the way from Lerici, and a glass of wine. Cheers.